This is the follow-up film that I mentioned in the last to just review the floor plans from Design Review 2 and 3. So this was the existing plan. And so there were just the design review meetings of 11/15 and 11/21. And on the 11/15 ones, these are the variations that we had, and we were using some of that upper hall floor. So that was the downside of that in the first place, is that we were using some of that upper hall. I didn't like of the plans from 11/15, I probably liked this one perhaps the best, just in terms of its simplicity and lower cost than the others. I liked this one well enough, but I didn't like cutting off that door in the upper hall. And this, I said in the films, this could probably work for you. And all of these from this review here, A, B, C, those are all going to be similar costs. A, B, and C are going to be similar costs here and there. And then maybe there's less doors in one, so that's probably less. But when you go to D and E, where we have these sinks over here, or D and D2, where we have the sinks on this wall, this is still less expensive than the big dormer that we're going to talk about over here, but it does require that small shed dormer, Plan D, which of these of the ones that require a little dormer out here, I almost kind of like this one the best if this had enough storage in it for you, with this linen out here in the upper hall. So D and D2 require a small shed dormer, no windows. And then E was this really big shed dormer, and F was what became the current plan, which was A. And so all the plans that were reviewed in the design review meeting 3, all of those are going to be, they're going to be the same to build the dormer all through. It's just a case of what kind of appointments you use inside is the way the costs are going to go up or down. So, but this was the first one we looked at, which was the last one of the meeting before of Design Review Meeting 2. And so we went straight to this and called it A of this one, and the B was just moving it, flipping it like this, and C was having two vanities like this. The only difference to D is moving the toilet back and going from this 18-inch deep cabinet and reducing the depth of that bump by 6 inches, say, and getting that pushed back a little bit. And the only difference between D and E is this wall up here, eliminating that 2-inch wall discussed at length in the film. But there's E, and then after E is really just F and G. And after I left, I suppose if there was an H, it would have just been eliminating this wall and having this vanity. Perhaps this vanity becomes a little wider, like a 42-inch vanity, and is here. But that is a review of those. And in terms of building costs, or thinking about building costs, all of the baths are going to take, depending upon the level of appointment, and that's going to be consistent throughout the bath, those are all going to take a similar amount of investment on the interior of the walls. Whether there's new walls or existing walls, those are going to take a similar amount of interior material, I would think. Remember, the big one is, this is about 110 square feet, and that dormer that we discussed at the second meeting's third film, that one is about 140 feet. So it is larger in terms of material. But once you're paying for all the labor to put together a new shower and do that sort of thing, that much is going to happen regardless. And so your add-on to that is whether or not it's less expensive, not less expensive, but whether it's cost-effective to build the dormer out here, as shown in the 1121 plans, or to deal with eating up some of this upper hall and possibly improving this person's closet space, but doing this here. And I don't know that it's an easy call. As I said, of these earlier plans, this is probably my preference here. But yes, any of these ones here are going to be similar costs. Any of the ones discussed on the third film before this film. Of course, this one, when you go from B, you're buying a whole other bank of vanities. So it is going to be more in terms of that. I almost think that we're fairly close to construction drawings and on any of these plans, and perhaps you ought to select one that pleases you the most, and I can put together some pretty decent construction drawings, enough for a person to accurately estimate it, and maybe have that estimated by a couple people perhaps, and get a handle on how much something is going to take. Additionally though, you could shop a lot of this material and let your prospective contractor know that that's what you're going to use, which will speed the process along. I do like that these ones here keeps everything out here, away from what's happening down here. And they can come and go and just seal this off here and do the work up here without really disturbing too much of what's happening in here. But finally for this film, I hadn't in the earlier film and last film, I hadn't put the medicine cabinets and taken finished photographs of this particular plan because I was interested in moving along to see if I could improve it. But here are some finished photographs, and after that a quick walkthrough as well. So feel free to get in touch if you have additional questions. So feel free to get in touch and ask me anything you like. Thanks very much again. Some people like these pictures auto-corrected like this because they can see it a little bit better. Anyway, that is all. Good luck, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.